All right, everyone, I'm here today with Hal, and he's going to give us a little tour here of the Sanger Train Depot and Museum. And I believe it's the oldest building in Sanger, am I correct?
Correct.
And I'll let you take it from here, sir.
Okay, back in 1887, the Southern Pacific Railroad said we need a line to connect Porterville to Fresno. And along the way, we're going to have a depot. And they had a gentleman working for them by the name of Joseph Sanger. And they said, Joseph, we're going to name the depot after you. Joseph never visited the depot, unfortunately. Little bit of trivia, his daughter was the first woman to be salaried working in the White House in the Harrison administration. The very first woman to receive a salary working in the White House. But anyway, the depot was built. Now at that time, there was no Sanger. This was all dry land wheat farming.
You know, about what year would that be?
1887, 1888.
All right.
So from Sacramento all the way down to Tehachapi, wheat farming. Now of course it's all oranges and grapes and all the rest. But that took the irrigation ditches being put in, and that was after the depot was here. So anyway, the depot was put in 1887, and it operated until around 1960, and then it was shut down. And then Southern Pacific Railroad put it up for sale. You could buy the depot for $1.
For $1. Wow.
But you got to move it. So in 1977, the Sanger Historical Society took the depot from where it was located, which was behind where Les Schwab Tire Store is now, in front of the Sanger Hotel. That's where this was built.
Okay.
And then in the middle of the night, it was moved over here and then turned into this museum.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a real, genuine train depot. There was a little bit of it that had to be removed, cut off, because it was a little bit too long to move. And we're right next to the police department and the fire department, as you probably noticed. But yeah, this is a genuine train depot.
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
And you'll notice it's 2 stories.
We'll go ahead and
And the reason it's 2 stories is because there was no town of Sanger. And they needed a place for the station master and his family to live. So they chose a 2-story depot, and they lived upstairs, like I said, from 1887 until the final family moved out in 1960.
Wow. So the upstairs, they lived upstairs, and
They lived upstairs.
down was just the regular depot for
This
people
was
to
a
come
regular
in.
train depot here. It had a telegraph here. Like during World War II, if there were Sanger people from around here, combat people that were wounded or killed in action, the telegram arrived at the train depot, and then the depot delivered to the family.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Sad story, but that's the way it operated.
Okay. What should we look at next?
Well, I guess we could do a little bit of outdoor.
All right.
In 1889, you had lumber companies up by Sequoia that were doing logging. And so the world's longest, then this is a 2-scale model of the flume, except the original flume was built in 16-foot sections. But they had a flume all the way from Sequoia Lake right over to Chuckwagon. And there was a big lumber yard over there. We have pictures of it inside and everything. And so...
And people used to ride that, didn't they?
They rode it there's some pictures of people riding the flume up in the hills. They didn't ride from Sequoia down to Sanger.
All right.
They didn't do that. But this was a very important Longest flume in the world when it was built, all the way from Sequoia Lake right down here to Sanger.
Wow. And then it says this is the original Sanger jail cell,
Yep.
or door to the jail.
Over where Sanger Park is, there's it's gone now, but there used to be a music stand there, and underneath the music stand was the Sanger jail, and this is one of the doors from the Sanger jail. Yeah.
That is really neat. Very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool. It's hard getting the word out that there's a museum here. We had those for years. The Sanger Police Department and the Sanger Fire Department, they walk up and down the staircase here, and it wasn't until we put in the railroad crossing sign a couple of years ago that the guys walking by said, "What the heck? That's a train depot. How'd that get over here?" Well, yeah, it was a train depot.
Put the doors so that they could see the beautiful artwork.
There's the door to the museum right there. And we'll go out and take a look at that train sign real quick. So if you come in, everyone, it's right over here next to the police department, actually behind it, and next to our library. So if you look over, that is Sanger Library. You can come into the library parking lot, and then you'll see the depot right here.
And then we're known especially, this is our Sanger logo. And you could
Yeah, we are the Christmas tree city.
Sanger.
Yep.
You could walk up there. We'll take you up there so you
Okay.
can take a better picture. And then these are just some of the stuff that they have donated to us, what they used to use back in the day,
Yep.
you know? And then we always let everybody know that's our rock. I call it the rock. But here's the history of what the Red, he was talking about earlier about the Red concert.
So we'll get a little of that. Great.
And then he'll tell you that this building was on the other side of where Le Schwab was.
Yeah, he told me that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I always let people know about, we want to make sure that they know that we are a landmark.
Yeah.
So,
Became a landmark in 1989, I believe.
yeah.
Year I graduated.
Really?
Yep.
And we have your yearbook if you graduated from here.